Welcome back to the PvP Live Studios here in Frisco, Texas. You're watching HPL, and you just saw Kranich go up to 2-0 here in his match against ek0p. He's on match point. ek0p needs to do a reverse sweep here.
Yeah, exercising a little bit of his uniqueness too. He played Tempo Mage, and he had Mechanical Yeti at the 4-drop slot to make sure that he can get a strong body on board and then have spare parts to utilize afterwards. Love that little extra. I haven't seen that in a Tempo Mage yet deck. Are we going to see that again? Is ek0p going to swap decks? I don't know, but we're going to find out because Game 3 with ek0p versus Kranich is getting underway.
Yeah, the mechanical Yetis looked great. They did real work on ek0p.
Whoa, ek0p has gone to Priest in this game now. I'm curious exactly how this matches up versus something like this Patron Warrior deck. You know, we've seen it deal 30+ damage in the later stages of the game. How exactly does Priest defend against something like that?
Yeah, you know, I'm not I don't know too much about this matchup. I haven't played it a ton. Cabal Shadow Priest could probably have some big turns against Kranich's deck, but the thing I want to talk about is when is he going to draw Nat Pagal? We've seen this in his Grim Patron Warrior deck.
We certainly have. You know, you talk about how you haven't played this a lot. It's because nobody plays Priest a lot.
Right, you just don't get queued against it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's widely considered to be a weaker deck, but a lot stronger when you know exactly what your opponents are playing. But we have no idea what Kranich is going to queue up, and I would venture to say that ek0p didn't know that he was going to go with this strategy.
Yeah, there's no way you can really guess what Kranich. I think Kranich is the hardest person to put on a deck here in all of HPL.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen ek0p play a Warlock a single time in this match. I think that's one of his strongest decks, if not by far his strongest class that he plays.
Yeah, he may be overthinking the don't get targeted thing a little bit too much here in HPL. It's very possible he just, you know, doesn't want to run into people who are specifically targeting him playing Warlock, or maybe he just thinks, you know, hey, it's just not very good for this matchup against Kranich.
Yeah, it could be either way, and a little bit of a choice in front of him now. Does he want to Velen's Chosen this Zombie Chow and start doing some work on Kranich's life total and kind of force him to have some answers, or does he just want to bide his time and wait?
Well, if he doesn't Velen's Chosen this Zombie Chow, he could just heal it up and start attacking, but you're really not getting anywhere. ek0p's, you know, armoring up, and any damage he takes, he's going to eventually get back when he kills the Zombie Chow. So if you Velen's Chosen, you actually start putting a real threat on the board that ek0p's going to have a hard time dealing with unless he gets something like an Execute.
Yeah, he is going to go with Velen's Chosen here. And this is going to be the pressure he starts applying now. So 4 points of damage. That is now a chill win zombie Yeti Chow. Whatever the combination of those
I meant that Kranich was going to have to deal with. They were headed backwards for just a second.
So Kranich, you know, not great options in front of him either. You know, sort of the thing I'm looking at is he can play ek0p Pain and then use 2 Inner Rages to really get a lot of card draw off this, but he has a Grim Patron in his hand. Does he want to be using Inner Rages?
I think he's going to use 1 Inner Rage here, maybe to draw a card. I don't know if he'll use 2, since he already has Whirlwind, Grim Patron, Warsong Commander, Inner Rage in his hand, and now he just picked up Cruel Taskmaster. All he has to do is not die over the next couple of turns, and he's going to be able to have a huge Grim Patron turn very soon.
Yeah, so just going to be ek0p Pain and go. And now ek0p, I mean, he finds himself kind of sitting in the same turn. No real action moving forward. Can kill out this Zombie Chow and start healing it up. You know, this isn't a very important thing for Priest, though, is kind of just get to the late game and have everything extended. If you're at a safe amount of life total, you will very often have a pretty good control over the game. So, you know, the fact that he's kind of just been investing in this board position, I think it's totally fine for him. But, you know, one of the ways this is going to struggle is if your opponent goes toe-to-toe with you instead of the other way around. The Priest doesn't want to be the aggressor in these matchups.
Absolutely not. Great turn here from Kranich. He's going to be able to use this Deathbite to clear out the Zombie Chow, get 5 life back, and really set up some big turns going forward with Grim Patron and Warsong Commander.
Second Zombie Chow, not a very strong draw, but it may draw out that second Deathbite charge, so it looks like he's going to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, he has an also nice Soul Priest here, but again, it doesn't actually get him a whole bunch of that forward. It can easily be checked by the Deathbite here, but you're almost okay with that in some situations. But you don't want to just like let Kranich, you know, oh look, I have Frothing Berserker, go crazy or something. you know, we've seen some insane turns from this deck here just this week alone. Not even mentioning all of HPL.
Yeah, Kranich, this is sort of a spot where I think ek0p really wants him to overcommit to the board. You know, he has Alkanite Soul Priest, he has Circle of Healing, so that's 4 damage to every minion he's got in his hand. If Kranich decides he wants to play this Grim Patron and then fill up his board with Grim Patrons, that's really, honestly, that's one of the ways that he loses this game, is if he commits to it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if he commits, then he's going to get punished by also Circle of Healing. We need to talk about that with the ek0p. He's going to be able to hold on to this for the entire game. That's why you're seeing him not play the Soul Priest here. He understands this matchup. Ooh, he gets a Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, not often you see priests with weapons, but Thought Seal is certainly one of the ways you can get them. Take 2 random cards from your opponent and put them into your hand.
If you're not going to attack with the Fiery War Axe, yeah, I would not like playing it this turn. We've seen especially lately here in HPL, some of these Warrior decks adopting cards like Acidic Swamp Ooze and Harrison Jones just to get a leg up on the mirror.
Yeah, I think I just like the Warsong Commander because it's not a vital card to your deck, but if it stays in play, it could potentially present a threat. And Kranich, it looks like...
Speaking of vital cards to your deck.
This is going to be the turn he goes for it. And honestly, I think this is exactly what ek0p wanted to see. I think he wanted Kranich to overcommit in a spot like this. I mean, is he greedy enough to Whirlwind in this spot, or is he going to go with Battle Rage? I love that
I think he's just going to go with Battle Rage here.
I love that he's not being overly aggressive with his resources right now, because he's going to need them if he wants to win this game. And he picks up a second Grim Patron and a second Battle Rage.
I love how this is him not being overly aggressive and overextending, making 4 Grim Patrons and adding 14 power to the board. But, you know, hey, he took it easy this turn.
Yeah, you know, taking it a little bit easy. So how does ek0p exactly deal with this moving forward? He's honestly, he's not forced into using Auchenai Soul Priest and Circle of Healing here. He has a couple of different options. Yeah, if he does attack to the face, he will be using that. And I would venture to say that's what he wants to be doing anyway, because, you know, the Zombie Chow, he will get 5 damage because of the Auchenai Soul Priest. So I don't mind this at all. I mean, this is the turn he's looking for, so I would expect that that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he can definitely attack for 2 here, get the damage in with Auchenai Soul Priest, play Circle of Healing, get everything done, and then he would still have enough left over to play Northshire Cleric, heal up his priest, and gain an extra card if he wants.
Yeah, well, mind you, can't heal up his priest if that Auchenai Soul Priest is still in play. So Circle of Healing, gonna be the play here. That's 5 extra damage to Kranich now, sweeps out this board presence, left with a 3-1 behind, but Kranich 9 cards in hand.
Yeah, he gets the extra 2 damage in here on Kranich, really starting to pressure his life total.
Yeah, but again, Kranich just no shortage of what he's got going on. And ek0p, is he going to play this Northshire Cleric, or is he going to hang on to it? I think there's merits to both sides of it. Like, on one hand, you want to get threats out of the board and try to do something with them, but on the other hand, could potentially be such a key card to your strategy. Being able to reload with something like the second Circle of Healing, that could be very important considering how many cards Kranich is drawn.
Yeah, Kranich actually has 10 cards in his hand right now. He's actually just got a full grip here. So ek0p, you know, maybe should have hesitated and thought about it a little bit on that Northshire Cleric, because if this game were to go long, and it looks like it might, because there's so many cards going back and forth, that, you know, drawing some extra cards later in the game might be something that, you know, helps him win this game.
Yeah, so 13 points of damage. I think it's 13 points of damage with Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker, Cool Taskmaster, and but he's just going to go with Deathbite here. Honestly, now this is another question for Kranich. Does he want to start pushing damage right now, or does he want to keep trying to control this board? Because he has taken 16. He's down to 16 at this point. So, you know, how much more damage can you realistically continue to take? This is how little you can realistically continue to take. Take out this 3-1, get a little bit of threat on the board, and start padding your life total again.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little careful on the damage that he takes over the next couple turns. He doesn't need to kill ek0p this turn or next turn. Priest isn't really known for coming out of nowhere and killing you. They don't have a ton of reach. They don't have gigantic minions over and over and over again that they kill you with. But he's going to take it slow and take his time, because ek0p's at 30. What you're going to look for is Kranich to do something that we saw yesterday, have one of these gigantic turns where he does over 20 points of damage.
Yeah, the fact that he's been very patient, you know, aside from that first Grim Patron where he was using that just to draw cards, he's got more copies of all those cards in his deck, yeah, so he can expend them in some sort of way. Honestly,
the card I think he needs the most right now is Emperor Thaurissan. He already has Grim Patron, Frothing Berserker, Warsong Commander, and Whirlwind. I'm sorry, double Whirlwind in his hand. If he gets even just 1 trigger of an Emperor Thaurissan, you could see 30 damage in 1 turn.
Yeah, so ek0p going to use Cabal Shadow Priest, take over that 2-2. Such a great card. That one is usually like one of the vital key swings that you can have. But staring down a Deathbite, I don't think he's very happy to do it. And just going to have to float 2 mana here. Can't even heal himself because he's at full right now. And chooses not to use the Fiery War Axe. Love that he's being very patient with all of his effects. Priest is one of those classes that what it's kind of trying to do is grind their opponents out of the game. If they can keep that strict control and keep their life total very high, they're not very susceptible to stuff. Have incremental amounts of pressure throughout the game. Force your opponent to deal with stuff too.
Yeah, you said it perfect. You don't see many games where Priest just comes out of the door swinging and just, you know, knocks you down the whole way and then beats you on like turn 7. It usually beats you on turn 14 and you feel very demoralized.
So Kranich going to continue to take his time as well. You know, all these guys have had very tough turns in front of them. I mean, this looked to me like now it may be like an actual push turn.
Yeah, this is something I thought we might see from Kranich here. He's going to push for a ton of damage here this turn, use an execute to kind of clear up this board a little bit. He's going to swing for 10 at ek0p, get his life total really low down to 16, start setting up huge lethal turns with Frothing Berserker from here.
Honestly, I think this is kind of the turn that ek0p might have been looking for a little bit, was to get to this point so he can start recovering this board state with his hero power and then using Shadow Word Death to take out something like a Grob. But he's got to be careful about how many threats he adds to the board, because if he puts too much down and he runs into like a Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker, lots of Whirlwinds combos, he's going to be out of this game. So we'll add this this injured Blade Master to the board, you know, how concerned should he be about keeping his threats around, though? You know, this is something that's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, you have to Shadow Word Death this Grom here. You definitely can't leave this 10 power minion sitting on the board. It would actually just kill you the next turn. You'd have to believe that Kranich could find the extra damage here. But yeah, you're going to see ek0p really, really worry about his life total here. And he's going to Circle of Healing to make sure that his threats stay around on the board as well. You want to make sure, because you have to believe a Whirlwind is coming soon. There's going to be a Whirlwind combo turn here very soon.
This looks like lethal to me, too, even before that second Frothing Berserker pickup. But now it really does. Let's count this damage here real quick. So he plays 2 Frothing Berserkers, that's 4. A Whirlwind will give him 10 extra damage on that. So that's 10, that's 14 points of damage. So not quite, actually, a little bit short if he chooses to do it that way. But let's say he played Frothing Berserker after a Warsong Commander and went Unstable Ghoul and double Whirlwind. Is that going to be enough damage?
Yeah, I mean, if you could do something like Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker, Whirlwind, I think they both go to 7. I think you could do a 14 that way, and you might just want to see, can Kranich stop me from here?
Yeah, I mean, this looks like lethal to me, honestly. The Unstable Ghoul, then 2 Whirlwinds, that's going to be 10 points of damage. Unstable Ghoul trade's going to be
and then attack,
2 more.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it trades it into the injured Blade Master, and that's 2 plus 4 more on that end of it. Yeah, I mean, this is it, I think. 5 more, it's going to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Looks like 18 damage to me, actually. I think is what I've counted as 18 points of damage. 14, 15, 16, 17 points of damage. We were wrong, but, I mean, his opponent is at 1 now. Can ek0p stabilize from 1 point of health?
There's a chance. Kranich doesn't have another way to push through actual damage next turn yet. Now, he does have a Battle Rage, so he can draw an extra card next turn if he thinks that's what he needs to do to find an answer here. Yeah, ek0p even has a way to keep his injured Blade Master around. Kranich is only at 15 right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, the fact that he's kind of gone all in here, really telling us stuff. But ek0p's got to be worried about something like a weapon swing, even.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like all of the weapons kill him through a heal anyway. He could go up to 3 and he's dead to all of the weapons. You've already seen, I think, both Death Bites out of Kranich's deck. What you could do here, this is something you could do. You could Light Bomb, take care of this Frothing Berserker, still have your injured Blade Master around. Either play Valen's Chosen or Fiery War Axe, or both, since you still have the coin if you want, and really push and make lethal next turn on Kranich.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's going to do, too. I mean, he's got Valen's Chosen here to protect this.
I mean, you just have to shrug and do this. I mean, like, all the cards in Kranich's deck kill you. You can't play around it.
Is he coin healing, or is he coining Fiery War Axe?
You got to coin Fiery War Axe here, I believe.
6.
All right, he's going to actually heal. I just don't know what the heal actually does for you. I mean, it pulls you out next turn. You know what I mean? But if you make this Fiery War Axe play and Kranich doesn't have a Taunter, you can still force lethal next turn with
Kranich does not have a way to kill ek0p right now. This game has gotten so intense all of a sudden.
Yeah, he needs to cast his Battle Rage here.
He's digging for a weapon so desperately is Kranich, and
he picks up an Execute. Great
That's still looking beautiful
here
for him, but now that heal from ek0p looking like
it's going to be important
super
now.
important now at this point. And he's got the Fiery War Axe sitting behind, but Kranich, you know, he's at 9. Is he worried about his life total at all? What's a priest going to do to you is sort of what I'm thinking in this
I don't think he's worried about his life total. What you're going to see from Kranich here is he's trying to figure out which minion should he play here, because there's merits to both. Acolyte of Pain, you can start comboing off with it and drawing more cards, but if you get a Frothing Berserker in play and a way to damage them, you can start to force lethal.
Oh my god.
Great draw from ek0p
here.
Yeah,
this is really important now. But then something else he has to think about here is that he's dead to Fiery War Axe if he takes the Acolyte of Pain away. If he doesn't take the Acolyte of Pain away, he's not dead to Fiery War Axe. Which one of these do you take? Do you intentionally take the worst minion?
No, you take the Gnomish Avenger, you kill the Acolyte of Pain with Fiery War Axe here, and then you gain 2 life back up to 4.
Wow, so Death's Bite is going to be what Kranich needs if he wants to close this. Warsong Commander looks like that wouldn't be enough.
Oh, and he drew Fiery War Axe too.
Fiery War Axe, but that's 1 damage off lethal right now. This game has been absolutely crazy. Armorsmith won't protect him. He's facing down 4, 5, 6. He's facing down 9 damage. If he plays a Frothing Berserker or a Grim Patron and armors up, he's actually dead because of Shadow Madness. He's going to go for Fiery War Axe, and he's swinging for the dome.
Do you think he knows to play around Shadow Madness here?
I think he does. That's 1 damage off right now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. ek0p needs 1 point of damage if he's going to win this game. Oh,
Death Lord!
He picks up Death Lord. That's a massive draw right now. That's going to protect him from this second weapon swing. Everything in this game is so tight. Every single point of damage and life has mattered critically in this game.
This game has just been back and forth and greatly played on both sides. Jeez, I'm going to have a heart attack watching this game.
I'm so tense over what's going on, and now ek0p has another decision from him. He is going to clear out this Armorsmith, it looks like, and I mean, he has to believe he has firm control over what's happening right now.
absolutely. You definitely feel like it's what you said. It's the incremental death. You're going to die slowly over the span of a few turns, and that's what's going to happen here. And I don't know if Kranich has an out left in his deck. Slam low, draw a card.
I mean, this could draw into something like an execute. If he draws a piece of removal, a silence, lots of things would be lethal here. Gnomish Inventor, still one more draw to get it. And Warsong Commander, that will do it next turn. But I think he just died because of this Gnomish Inventor sitting on the board. He's not going to even try to live through this turn.
How we keep seeing these players.
What is going on?
Yeah, everyone's conceding to people here. Just unbelievable back and forth game here. What a recovery from ek0p there.
I am blown away that game was quite as tight as it was. We saw Kranich move all in to set ek0p down to 1, and then he stabilized at that position multiple turns in a row. Kranich couldn't deal a single point of damage. ek0p turns it all the way around, and then Kranich taps out at the end. He doesn't want to have any more to do with that one. But wow, great work by ek0p. You know, honestly, kind of looking at that game, Priest feels like it is not a very strong matchup versus that deck. They can just wait for so long and put together all the burst damage they want in the end game. But ek0p weathered the storm, kept his cool, picks up a win here now, only needs 2 more.
Yeah, when you're playing Grim Patron Warrior, that's exactly what you want to be playing against. You want to be playing against a deck that can't threaten your life total. The longer you get to sit there and draw more cards through your deck, and let's be face it, this has one of the best draw engines in the game. It's going to find ways to kill you. Kranich was 1 off of doing the full amount that turn, got ek0p to 1. ek0p found a way to stabilize. He got the coin hero power that turn, and it ended up being the difference in that game.
If you guys want to see how crazy this game was, you can go back and look at the recap yourself. Head over to pvplive.net and see the full stats breakdowns and everything they did in that game. How they played those strategies, such an important thing. And every single point of damage in life mattered in that one. Guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back, Game 4 is going to be getting underway. Kranich is still on match point, but ek0p now only needs 2 straight if he's going to win this one. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.